Live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Joining you live from the National News Studios, this is the National News Broadcast. I am Malsha Dharmavardhana together with Lakshita Edirisinghe. The government says if price of school stationery increases by the budget, it will be rectified. The Inter-University Student Federation protests dispersed. Construction of many buildings suspended. Trade unions protest against restructuring of profitable state institutions. The president says priority will be given to protect people but not organizations. The Republican Party says transactions of Biden family would be investigated. On to those and other stories in detail now, starting with your local stories. State Minister Ranjit Siyambalapitiya says if the price of school stationery is increased by tax proposals in the budget, those would be removed.
He said in Parliament today that a discussion in this regard will be held today. The budget debate took place for the fourth day today and MP Vajira Abeyewardena launched the debate. Parliamentarian Vajira Abeyewardena said that they asked to keep the telecom, which has a loss of 60 billion rupees. The central bank can be independent, but the government compiles policies. The Parliament should immediately implement a maximum cap for the interest rate. State Minister Ranjit Siyambalapitiya said that they will look into the matter. He said if there is an impact on the stationery of school students due to a tax, it will be changed.
Meanwhile, President Ranil Wickremesinghe says he gives priority to protect the people who are facing difficulties. Addressing a conference in Colombo today, the president said he aims to increase foreign reversals soon.
We've already started discussions with the World Bank. I've also discussed this with the ADB in Manila. There will be other countries such as US, China, India, all who are interested. From the government side, we are doing the discussions. Now, how is the private sector going to relate to? Are you putting up the flag of protection and taking the government on? Or are we opening up? We are looking at removing the para-tariffs and the tariffs over 5 years with a trade adjustment program to help our industries and manufacturers to meet that competition. But beyond that, the Singapore FTA will be in operation by early 2023. Then the FTAs with India, with Thailand, with China. But the long-term goal is by next year or year after enter into an agreement with the regional comprehensive economic partnership that brings you into Southeast Asia and East Asia. And that's not the end. Finally, we should look within 10 to 12 years' time to be able to join the high standards that are set out in the comprehensive and progressive Trans-Pacific Partnership. That really raises the level of our economy. If that's the only way that we can go, the billions and trillions of rupees we have wasted would have been better spent on our education, health or housing. So we have to spend on education, we have to spend on health, we have to spend on housing, we have to spend on social welfare, which have been neglected. We need money for those. As far as businesses are concerned, we should basically be able to give that to the private sector, both local and foreign. So that is the thinking behind it. They still ask, why are you selling profit-making enterprises? Look at the SLT, it's making profits. If you ask the Secretary to the Treasury, he will tell you what profits that are made and how much money we'll have to pump in the future, the money we haven't got.
The Inter-University Student Federation organized a protest today urging to release the convener of the Federation, Wasantha Mudalige, and Venerable Galwava Siri Dhammathera, who have been remanded.
The police took action to disperse protest walks commenced from several places in Colombo. The walk commenced near the Aesthetic University, reached the UN office in Colombo. Thereafter, police dispersed the protesters who arrived near the Prime Minister's office and the Lotus Tower. The two main suspects connected to shootings and killings of 3 persons at Alpitiya, Uragaha and Yakkalamulla areas have died following a shootout with the police special task force.
Police said they are accomplices of drug racketeer Uragaha Indika, who is abroad at present. Following an information received by the Special Raids Unit of the Special Task Force headquarters, a house has been raided at Minuangoda, Japalavatta area this morning. The suspects have shot with their firearms and they have been seriously injured following the shooting by Special Task Force. They said the suspects died while being admitted to the Minuangoda hospital. The suspects, Milan Kosala and Gamage Diluka, are residents of Gold Poddala area. Police said they were the main suspects of the incidents of the 24th August, where a person was shot dead at a salon at Uragasmanghandi area, and shooting and killing of a father and his 4-year-old child at Yakkalamulla area on October 19. A special task force officer who was injured during the shootout has been admitted to the Minuangoda hospital.
The construction industry, which contributes immensely to the national economy, is collapsing. As a result, the industrialists pointed out constructions of many buildings have been suspended. A large group of people, including engineers, technicians, skilled and unskilled workers, are directly connected to the construction industry. The construction industry contributes between 7 and 10% to the gross domestic product. The price of raw materials, including cement and sand, needed by the construction sector has increased. The National Construction Employees Union said it has seriously affected their industry. Project managers in the construction sector says that monopoly in aluminium and tile products has led to the price increase of those goods. They said that credit facilities given by the banks to purchase goods has been suspended. The association said that the prevailing situation has created problems in training activities of the sector as well.
An agreement was signed today between an investment company on Singapore and the management of the Lotus Tower under the patronage of State Minister Diana Gamage. The agreement expects to bring in an investment of $1 billion within next 3 years for Lotus Tower. The Lotus Tower premises will be developed as an entertainment zone within next 6 months. It will promote trade, investment and tourism between Sri Lanka and Singapore. It has been planned to implement a night economic development plan related to the Lotus Tower area. A group of officials of Singapore company were present on the occasion.
A special discussion with World Bank representatives on Sri Lanka's future development plans and policies took place at the Finance Ministry yesterday. A group of ministers and officials representing the government attended the discussion with the World Bank Director for Sri Lanka and his representatives. Attention was paid on state financial supervision and improving debt management, improving tax administration policies, reducing system risks of sovereign financial links, enhancing performance of energy sector and the reduction of carbon emission were also discussed. Discussions took place on 8 sectors, including minimizing policy uncertainty and increasing economic competitiveness, restructuring of state enterprises, and strengthening social security. Thereafter, the World Bank representatives met President Ranil Wickremesinghe and briefed him about the points. Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena says the support of everyone is essential for the success of the Maha season.
The Prime Minister mentioned this while taking part in the program on food security, nutrition, sustainable agriculture and empowering people organised by Sri Lanka Hadabima organisation. The program took place today at Kottawa Makubura area. Speaking on the occasion, the Prime Minister said that everyone should take steps to continue with home gardening programs. He said that food security can be considered as a main part of the economical revival. Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena said that the President and the government has requested public representatives and 5 state officials to take measures to organize and continue with home gardens. This season should be made successful home gardens and rectify certain shortcomings at farmlands while providing an additional income. It is a simple program but not the work of a large-scale companies.
පාඩුකම් තියෙනවා කියලා කියමු. මොකද ඒ සියල්ල ජයගත හැකි තමන්ගේ ගෙදර තමන්ගේ ගමේ ගෙවෙතු බගාව සමගම ඒ ඉලක්ක සපුරාලීමට පුළුවන් වගේම ආදායමක් උපයා ගන්නට පුළුවන්කම සැලසුම් කරලා තිබෙනවා. සරල වැඩපිළිවෙලක්. මහා පරිමාණ සමාගම්
Programs have been organized to distribute agricultural equipment to promote sustainable home gardens.
Minister Manusha Nanayakkara says that a special program will be implemented to identify and arrest agencies who are engaged in human smuggling rackets under the pretext of providing foreign employment. He said in Parliament today that a special committee has been appointed jointly by the Ministry of Public Security and his ministry. Minister Manusha Nanayakkara said that it is not connected to foreign employment sector if someone is leaving illegally from the airport or over by boats. Several suspects have been arrested for engaging in illegal activities such as selling for employment in Oman through Dubai. A major operation has been commenced to arrest all those who are connected to the racket. Parliamentarian J.C. Alawatuwala said that government has the regulatory mechanism. There are many people who are expecting to leave for foreign employment. More people have been deceived. Nearly 100 employed in the labour division of foreign embassies have been recalled to the country. Steps should be taken to give appointment letters for them to send back to those countries. Minister Manusha Nanayakkara said that the staff of foreign embassies has been reduced and a large number of people have gone overseas.
A solo art exhibition of veteran artist S.H. Sarath was opened yesterday at the Lion and Vent in Colombo with the participation of President Ranil Wickremesinghe. It is the 50th solo exhibition organized by Mr. S.H. Sarath. Speaking on the occasion, the President said that the government hopes to organize an art competition and an exhibition to depict local pride in connection with the 75th Independence Day. The President further said that contribution of all talented local artists would be obtained and it would be a good opportunity for new artists to show their talents. The art exhibition will be held until the 20th.
Today is the 77th birthday of former President Mahinda Rajapaksa. He is considered as one of the most senior politicians in Parliament at present. Mr. Mahinda Rajapaksa entered Parliament in 1970 representing the Beliatta seat, and he was the youngest member elected to Parliament. He is well known as a street fighter who conducted many public protests against the 1988-89 terror period. He held several ministerial portfolios such as Labour and Fisheries in the 1994 People's Alliance government and became the Prime Minister of United People's Freedom Alliance government in 2004. Mr. Rajapaksa, who won the presidential election in 2005, is the 5th executive president of the country. Mr. Mahinda Rajapaksa is honoured as the leader who brought peace into the country by defeating LTTE terrorism in 2009. He became the executive president 2 times until 2015. He became the Prime Minister again after the general election of 2020. He is a Member of Parliament at present. The Mahasangha chanted Jai Pirit today at Tangol Urban Council Hall, invoking blessings on Mr. Mahinda Rajapaksa. Now, in the meantime, former President Chandrika Bandaranaike Kumaratunga has emphasized the need to provide solutions to the malnutrition among children.
She pointed out that the number of children suffering from malnutrition below 5 years is increasing daily. She mentioned this addressing the second meeting of the National Integrated Mechanism on Food Security and Nutrition. The meeting was held at the BMICH in Colombo. Attention was paid on implementation action plans soon to increase milk, eggs and vegetable production. Mrs. Chandrika Bandaranaike Kumaratunga said it is essential to streamline the midday meal program for children implemented by the Education Ministry with foreign aid. Discussion held on ways to get broad contribution from civil organizations to get food. A group of people, including Additional Secretary of the Food Security Division, were also present.
With that, we take you to a few more local stories in brief. The father of newborn triplets of a Labour family at Muskelia, Brownswick Estate says that he is unable to look after the children. Noor Elliott District General Hospital doctors have said the growth of the infants is not satisfactory. It is reported that there are 2 more children of school-going age in the family. The wild elephant that moved in the Hamvava village of Madiragiri Divisional Secretariat area has been captured after a 4-day operation by the wildlife officials. People in the area said the wild elephant damaged houses and lives in the area. The 70th annual general meeting of the All Ceylon Excise Surgeons and Guards Association took place today under the patronage of State Minister Ranjit Siyamalapitiya. Speaking on the occasion, the State Minister said 100 million rupees have been allocated to implement law immediately against substandard liquor. Commissioner General of Excise MJ Gunasiri was also present on the occasion.
ගිය අවුරුද්දේ අපේ ඇස්ටිමේට් තිබුණේ බිලියන 6100යි වියදම. දැන් මේ සැරේ 7800ක් වියදම් කරන්න හදනවා. ඉතින් බදු වලින් අපේ රටේ 92ක් ගිය අවුරුද්දේ බදු. වියදම වැඩි කරන්නත් ඒක අවශ්‍යයි. අවශ්‍ය වෙන්නේ හැබැයි මේවා පුළුවන් තරම් යහපත් විදිහට කළමනාකරණය. 2023 ආයවැය ලේඛනයේ ඒක ඉතාම අසීරුයි මේ තෝරා ගැනීම. ඒ නිසා තමයි ජනාධිපතිතුමා යෝජනා කරලා තියෙන්නේ මේ සැරේ බදු කොමිෂමක්. ශ්‍රී ලංකාව කියන බොහොම අභිමාණයෙන් අපි කතා කරන රට. අපේ ශෝරීත්වය ගැන අපි කතා කරනවා. හැබැයි අපි ආර්ථික වශයෙන් ශෝරී වෙන්න නම් අපි ඔක්කොම එකට අත්වල බැඳගෙන මේවා දිහා බලලා තමන්ගේ වාසිය
Countries of the MICTA organization have agreed to support basic necessities of Sri Lanka's public health sector. This was disclosed during a discussion on Sri Lanka's public health sector at the Korean ambassador's residence. Health Minister Dr. Keliya Rambukwella attended the discussion on an invitation from the Korean ambassador. Stay tuned with us. News from overseas coming your way after this short break.
මෙහෙම දිනන්න මෙහෙම වන්න
ප්‍රීමා කතුමි ෆන් තමයි
Welcome back as we take a look at news from overseas. One day after retaking a majority in the US House of Representatives, Republicans have said they will investigate the president's family as a top priority.
The lawmakers said the inquiry would focus on overseas business dealings of President's son Hunter Biden. The 52-year-old is already under federal investigation but has so far not faced any charges. The younger Biden is not involved with the administration in any capacity, but top Republicans insist their inquiry will determine the extent of Joe Biden's alleged involvement in his son's business dealings, including during the elder Biden's time as vice president. In an interim report released at a press conference on Thursday, they allege that the president has lied to the American people about his alleged involvement in his family business dealings. Republicans accuse Hunter Biden of crimes, including tax evasions and wire fraud, but did not announce any immediate plans to summon him to testify.
North Korea has launched an intercontinental ballistic missile with enough range to hit the US mainland, Japan's defense minister says. The missile landed in the sea roughly 210 kilometers west of Hokkaido. The US has condemned the launch while South Korea has ordered stronger deterrence measures against the North. The latest intercontinental ballistic missile was fired at 10:15 local time from near the North Korean capital Pyongyang, military chiefs in Seoul said. Yesterday, North Korean Foreign Minister warned of a fiercer response to any increased US military presence in the region. It also launched a short-range ballistic missile the same day. The media report that North Korea has fired more than 50 missiles over the past 2 months, most of them short-range. These long-range launchers are rarer and pose a direct threat to the US, as the missiles are designed to carry nuclear warheads to anywhere on the US mainland. Twitter has told employees that the company's office buildings will be temporarily closed with immediate effect.
The workers were told that the offices would reopen on Monday, 21st November. It did not give a reason for the move. The announcement came amid reports that large number of staff were quitting after the new owner, Elon Musk, called on them to sign up for long hours at high intensity or leave. The company urges all workers to continue to comply with company policies by refraining from discussing confidential company information on social media with the press or elsewhere. There are signs that large number of workers have resigned because they have not accepted Mr. Musk's new term.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has said 10 million Ukrainians are without power after a fresh wave of missile strikes by Russia. At least 7 people were killed in the strikes, with the number expected to rise. Mr. Zelensky said that the government is doing everything to normalize the supply. He further added that the Ukraine's air defense managed to shoot down 6 cruise missiles and 5 drones. Yesterday, Russia pounded Ukraine with a fresh missile barrage, hitting more energy installations and other civilian buildings less than 2 days after one of its heaviest bombardments yet. Officials say that a gas production plant in the east and a missile factory in Dnipro were among the latest targets.
The US has determined that the Saudi Arabs as de facto leader, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, has immunity from a lawsuit filed by the murder journalist Jamal Khashoggi's fiancée. Mr. Khashoggi, a prominent Saudi critic, was murdered at the Saudi consulate in Istanbul in October 2018. US intelligence has said it believes Prince Mohammed ordered the killing, but in court filings, the US State Department said he had immunity due to the new roles as Saudi Prime Minister. The complaint accused that Saudi leader and his officials of having kidnapped, bound, drugged and tortured and assassinated the US resident journalist and democracy advocate Jamal Khashoggi.
Meanwhile, Japan's inflation has risen to its highest level in 40 years as a weak yen drove up commodity prices, already surging worldwide. Core consumer inflation, which excludes volatile fresh food products, rose by 3.6% in October compared with the previous year, government data showed today. The fastest pace of growth since the 1982, while low compared with the rates of inflation seen in economies such as the United Kingdom and the United States. The price growth well exceeds the Bank of Japan's inflation target and follows decades of stagnation in the world's third largest economy. Japanese government has last month unveiled a $260 billion stimulus package aimed at propping up the economy, including measures to help households manage rising energy costs.
මෙහෙම දිනන්න මෙහෙම වන්න ප්‍රිමා කතුමි ෆන් තමයි
Welcome back. Taking a look at your sports news. State Sports Minister Rohana Dissanayake made an inspection tour of the Sugatadasa Stadium yesterday to look into its preparation for the National Games.
The State Minister first visited the indoor stadium and held discussions about the problems with the staff. It was found that certain places of the indoor stadium and the swimming pool are in a dilapidated condition. The minister said Sugatadasa Sports Complex has not been renovated for some time. The Henry Steele Olcott Memorial Cricket Tournament commenced today at Mathura Uyanwatha Stadium in connection with the centenary year of Mathura Rahula College. Colombo Ananda, Nalanda, Ambalangoda Dharmashoka, Gaul Mahinda, Kurunagala Malayadeva, Kottava Dharmapala, Kendi Dharmaraja and Mathura Rahula colleges are taking part in the tournament. The final matches are scheduled to be played on Sunday.
මෙහෙම දිනන්න මෙහෙම වන්න ප්‍රිමා කතුමි ෆන් තමයි
With that, we conclude tonight's news on Rupavahini News. Do join us tomorrow at the very same time. Good night.
Good night.